Good afternoon, everyone. No idea what's happened to the picture there. Bear with me a moment while I make myself a bit less bright. But welcome along, and thank you for being here. It is a big day today. Poland v Austria, two sides that need a victory here, and now we've gone a little bit too dark. What a professional start this is. For a little bit of context here, after planning beautifully, I had to do one hell of a run to get myself home in time. So bear with me while I get the sweat off and hopefully find a little bit of form again. Thank you for being here. It's a big Friday afternoon game and it's the second one of the day. So let me say a good welcome to everyone that's popping in. Fairly professional, Steve. I cannot account for the bus driver, unfortunately. So fingers crossed all will go well. Firstly, Harvey over on YouTube, welcome in. Good to have you in. Who else have we got in today? Let's have a quick look. John, Steve, Liam, Connor, Jambo, Nomadic, welcome in all of you. Great to have you along. I hope you're well. Carl's in on YouTube as well. Good to see you here. Bergie's in as well. Lovely. Great to see you all here. Talk amongst yourselves for 5 minutes while I get my breath back. Straight in go Austria. They don't want us to have a chance, do they? Another quick start to the game. I guess the first questions here, what have you all predicted for this match? And what did you all make of the early game if you got to see it? I was watching it at work, so it was an interesting game and the opposite prediction I went for. But hopefully this game will be similarly entertaining because I think as we discussed last night, bar the two England games, which have been duds, the rest of the tournament's been pretty entertaining. And certainly with Poland and Austria both needing a victory from 0 points, we should see a few fireworks today. Ed, welcome in. Jake, good afternoon. Great to see you all coming in. No worries, Liam. Risotto sounds good. Hope you enjoy. We've got our last Hello Fresh meal of the week today, so looking forward to that. Connor, can't stay in long. So frustrating. We're sitting in deep as soon as we score. But on a different note, good to see Ukraine get a win. Yeah, I tell you what, that was the proper cliched game of two halves, wasn't it? The first half was so dominated by Slovakia. I thought they were brilliant. But those older legs just running out of steam towards the end. You could see the midfield press at the hour mark it went. Particularly with the 37-year-old right back, 36-year-old centre midfielder. They just haven't got that depth, but they did well. And it's going to be an interesting group, especially if Belgium can beat Romania, which incidentally, I'm not sure if they will. I think it'll be a tight game. And Nomadic back in Austria, only to see Marko Arnautovic up front. Hey, he's always had a good record for them. He's a good striker on his day. It's just his day isn't too often. That's the unfortunate thing. Also got a couple of Who Am I's for later, Jambo. Like the sound of that. Hopefully they're good ones. I feel like my camera looks a different colour today. There you go. It's just gone again. I knew they were sunning up with it. Bear with me a minute. There we go. We're near enough back to normal now. Not quite the usual shade, but we'll take it from where we were. Lunin was dropped, which was a bit of a shock, Bergie. Yeah, but then you've got to say Trubin played excellently, made some fantastic saves. And that's the luxury that Ukraine are going to have now. A bit like back in the day where they had no real great side and then two brilliant strikers. And now they've got two fantastic goalkeepers and the outfield team leaves a few things to be desired, which is a shame. Was it the picture scene Inside Out too? Hope you enjoyed it. Rushing from work job. Jake, I was supposed to be back by half 4, lovely and comfortably, like yesterday, but the first bus didn't turn up, the second bus was late, and then went the wrong way, so there we are, dashing it up the hill. But hey, good job. If this had been a few months ago when I was 2 stone heavier, we wouldn't have been back for 5, let me tell you that. Or I certainly wouldn't be ready to speak yet. So every cloud and all that. Steve, 2-1 Austria you've gone for. I've gone for 3-1 Austria, despite the fact the previous meetings between these sides would suggest very few goals. So I might look a little bit silly come the end of this one. Yeah, Carl, you're absolutely right. Harvey's gone 2-1 Austria as well. Ed, welcome in. Good to have you here. I hope you're keeping well. Bit of a shock for Ukraine given the first game. Yeah, but then I don't think they were that bad against Romania. They let in a long-range screamer. One went under the keeper and they let in a quick set piece, which incidentally they did again today. I don't think there was actually that much in the game, but the lazy punditry from people who probably didn't watch it just says that. As Austria put it into the box, Arnautovic can't bring it down. Been mostly Austria so far. And that's a good ball as well, headed away. Yeah, Mailer was brilliant yesterday. I thought Denmark were fantastic, but then the opposition weren't much, were they? Trubin played really well. Yeah, Rebrov, you've got to give him credit. Made tactical tweaks after half-time, which worked as well. Eddie, welcome in. You've gone 1-0 Austria. Bear with me while I turn the screen round a bit. There we go. Yeah, Ed, I went for 3-1 Austria as well. They did look good against France. They had the best chance of the game just before France scored, but... Oh, that's a terrible punch by Szczesny. It's gone up more than away. Gets away with it for now. Jambo's gone 2-1 Poland. You're the only one, I think. Nomadic 2-0 Austria. It's going to be interesting. I don't know if it was Jekyll and Hyde, Jambo, from Slovakia, but it was an interesting second half. I think he was just a bit slow to make the changes when his players run out of steam, but then maybe he knows he hasn't got that quality on the bench. Let's be honest, against Belgium, they were a dodgy handball law and half a foot of offside away from losing it. So it's not like they absolutely dominated Belgium or they kept them comfortably at bay. I think the last day could be difficult for them. Keeper was excellent apart from the goal. And even then, I don't think there's a huge amount he could do. Same as this morning when I saw Pickford being blamed for the England goal. And I went, Jesus, calm down, you know. There's not much you can do about that. Hearts have signed a right back from Brentford. I've put him in the Discord. Let's have a look. Who have you got? Let me catch up, Jambo. There we go. Is it a player we will have heard of? Oh, I had him in FM at some point, I'm pretty sure. Daniel Ayagoki, that name rings a bell. Be interesting to see. It's obviously someone who I presume will be second choice and then gradually make the step up, but definitely an interesting one. Mushroom, welcome in. Good to see you along. Great to see so many of the regulars. I've mentioned it before. It's blown me away during these Euros, particularly with these daytime streams that so many of you have popped in. I really do appreciate it. Batshuayi is a brave man than me joining Galatasaray. Yeah, it wasn't the most straightforward move in the world, was it? But we'll see what happens to him this year. If he starts well, all will be forgiven. Enjoying the gold refereeing kit's very snazzy. Can I just say, because look, quite often when I come in and do the Sunday morning FM streams and we're reviewing the weekend football, we're spending it talking about dodgy VARs, dodgy penalties, drawn lines for offsides and whatever else. The officiating in this tournament and the VAR in this tournament has been sensational, like genuinely brilliant. And we have to highlight that as well. We can't sit here and moan about it every week and then not say it's been brilliant when it has. I'm sure I've kiboshed it now and there'll be something awful today, but for the amount of games we've had, I mean, we've basically had the best part of 2 Premier League weekend fixtures now. And we've barely had a talking point, and the only one we have was because of a dodgy handball or not because of an actual refereeing mistakes. Or a VAR problem. Mushroom will take Poland with what, Jambo 1-0, fair enough. Austria have got a free kick again and have been dominant so far. With Gerald Taylor potentially coming in. I see Atkinson leaving. To be fair, it's nice to have options, Jumbo, isn't it? Yeah, Connor, I don't think Pickford's done anything wrong. Steve agreed. I want one of them gold kits, Harvey. I've got all the others. Hey, it looks lovely, doesn't it? Maybe they feel a bit bolder and more authoritative with the gold as well. I just like the fact that they've taken no nonsense. And we can't now say it's a problem with English referees or anything in the Premier League. We always hear this, the standard of referees in the Premier League is poor. Well, actually, you've got 2 sets of English officials here on both refereeing on the field and in VAR. And they've all been excellent as well. So I think that tells its own story. Hjulmand is an interesting case. Didn't break through at Copenhagen. Sold to Admira Wacker in Austria. Now at Sporting, links to the very big clubs. Yeah. Oh, big goal. In at the front post. Great header, and it's been coming. Those 1-0 Poland's not looking great. It's another early goal. Another early goal. Poland again behind early. It's been coming. It's been all in the in the Poland final third from Austria. Set pieces, crosses, balls into the box. They know what they're going for. It's a simple long throw. Flicked at the near post away. Back in the second time by the same man who took the throw in. And at the front post, the man who went for the original header. Fair enough, the defender did a great job the first time. Second time, just completely left him unmarked. 6 yards out. Why would you 6 yards out leave the big ball centre half with plenty of time to head in? Chesney nearly gets a hand to it. Would have been some save. And Austria again have started brilliantly. Harrying winning the ball back in the opposition half. Doing exactly what they've been good at in this tournament. I know this game's traditionally been low scoring, but I think Austria are going to get a few today. I really had that impression. And it's back to the edge again. Grilic in, so bits of attacking it as well. Incidentally, I've got my first scorer wrong for sure now as well. I have no idea why I'm a completely different colour to normal, but there you go. Still bothering me. Some great calls to continue play after fouls. Yeah, Ed, it's my only real bugbear with referees. That you can make mistakes. You can have a howler. You can call a throw-in wrong, a corner, a free kick, whatever. But not playing advantage and reading the game, that for me is the biggest bugbear. And these referees, they've let the game flow. We've had very little stoppage time. Would be lovely in England because we could actually catch our desired trains and buses home. It's been brilliant. Really, really enjoyed it. And it's made the games great as well. We've seen very little time wasting. We've seen loads of teams flying forward. It's just been a brilliantly officiated tournament. And it's contributed massively to the quality of the games. But yeah, Bergie, there's always going to be one or two slip through the net. Going back to Hjulmand. I mean, look at Brighton, who have been so brilliant at bringing in young players and developing them. They let Gyökeres go for $1 million. Everyone makes mistakes. Austria are doing brilliantly here. They're getting the ball forward quickly. They're getting 6 or 7 up in the opposition half. And again, they've got so much space. Edge of the box again. Good ball in, just beyond Arnautovic. The consistency is shocking, Steve. Oh, dear. The only refereeing issue I have is stopping for players going down injured for no reason. But equally, Nomadic, that's probably come from early in the tournament where the referee didn't stop it in the Austria-France game and Mbappe had broken his nose and had a proper head injury, and a serious one. So, to an extent, I can understand why that's happened, since it's going to be a natural reaction and probably a bit of a directive. Particularly with the pressure FIFA and UEFA are under due to head injuries now. The onus that, I'm afraid, Nomadic, is on the players to stop diving and falling over when they've not got a head injury. So, equally, that's something that the players have to take responsibility for. Jambo, I'll come back to the Hermine in a second. Let me just catch up with the chat quickly. As Poland, first foray forward, centre forward, passes it straight to the Austria left back. No Scottish referees at the Euros yet. I can't answer that one, Jambo, but maybe they just wouldn't have had any games to referee because everyone getting a draw wins Scotland the Euros, doesn't it? Yeah, I had Austria to score first, but I kept going for Grilic, and he had a great chance against France, but not happened so far. Poland so poor. Wales would have at least made a fist of it. Yeah, but you've got to get there, haven't you? And look, let's be fair. Poland's, their win rate without Lewandowski is about 20% lower. They're a far poorer side without a focal point and that experience up front. You can see here the ball's just bouncing back, but it's another team. We've mentioned it with Wales today, actually, in the Discord. It's another team where its golden era has just gone past. I mean, they had those 3 stars from Dortmund, including Lewandowski 10 years ago, didn't they? 2 of them aren't there anymore, and Lewandowski's clinging on by a thread. They've lost a lot of quality experience. They used to have people like Kamil Glick starting every game at the back who were rock-solid defenders. So you've got to understand that they're coming to the end of that era. Great bit of defending them at it, yeah. Anyone ever wanted to... Liam, that's a bit strong. At that point, I'd stop buying them, to be honest, Liam. Raniet's doing a great job, Carl, and it's amazing what managers do when they've got a good structure behind them, isn't it? Mushroom, 1-0 Poland was a pick of the heart, not the head. Hey, I've been there with Luton last season. How are you feeling about Scotland's chances to advance after drawing with the Swiss? I honestly think the Hungary games are 50-50. Because both teams have got to win. Hungary have got to win big to get 3 points and a respectable goal difference. So I think the way I see the game panning out is Hungary coming flying out the traps at Scotland. They score early, Hungary will win comfortably. If Scotland can catch them on the break, which it will suit Scotland down to the ground, the way Steve Clarke wants to play, they can take advantage and get an early goal, and Scotland could win, and 4 points will get them through. But it's going to come down. That is going to be one of those crucial games. The first goal scorer wins for me. Well, Jambo, it's interesting with the automated offsides. I was listening to that Dale Johnson from ESPN, and he's like got his little blog. He's like Mr. VAR or whatever it is. It's basically his sole job to study it. He was talking about it working in conjunction with this Snicko from the Adidas ball, which isn't going to be at any of the domestic leagues. And he said that's why it's working so much more effectively, because the two are working in combination. The Snicko tells you exactly when the ball's left the foot. So you can just have that frame with the semi-automated offside virtually like that. Whereas that's still going to be manual in the big leagues. So it won't be quite as smooth in the Premier League. And it hasn't been quite as smooth in certain other leagues that have had it. But will still be an improvement on what you've had. Cheers, Jambo. I had copied it ready to paste again. So I appreciate you doing that. Yeah, Jambo, you said the same. All about who gets the first goal. Completely agree. Thank you, everyone, coming in as well. I do appreciate it. A bit of a rushed and incoherent start compared to normal, but thank you all for coming along. Not sure what's going on with the camera and why I'm looking like a ghost, but maybe that's just how I actually look after running up the hill. I don't know. I seem a little darker than normal. Poland again getting caught in their own final third. This Austria team, one of the best pressing I've seen all tournament. And he's into the box again. Chance to shoot Sabitzer. Defender did enough through to Chesney. Right, who am I, Jambo? Do you have a tan? No. Jambo, I'm very much the Irish half of the jeans show when the sun comes out. The beard goes half ginger and I don't tan. So yeah, I've got a lot in common with the Scots when it comes to that as well. Who am I? I've played with Jan Danda, Michael Carrick, Ashley Cole, Jordan Shaqiri. Hang on a minute. Poland on the edge of the box. Great footwork. Shots blocked. But is it a handball? I think the defender's got it as close to his chest. Immediately the referee went like that he's gone as close as in as possible. Matt Ryan as well. I was going to say nomadic, old Englishman. Would Milner have played with Danda? He's definitely played with the rest. Would he have played with Ryan, actually? Would he have overlapped at Brighton? I'm not sure. He would have joined Brighton after Matt Ryan left. Has Jan Danda played for anyone else in England apart from Swansea? In the top levels? I know he had a couple of loans. Oh, Jambo, it doesn't matter. I was going to say, it doesn't matter. It won't make it much easier. If it wasn't for Ashley Cole, I would have gone for Lallana, but he wouldn't have overlapped. Oh, maybe he would have overlapped. Would Lallana have overlapped with Ashley Cole for England? Because he would have overlapped them with Ryan at Brighton. I still don't know about Danda. Maybe at one of the lower league clubs. It is Lallana. Oh, Poland with the effort just over the bar. Again, we're seeing a lot of joy from teams. I've mentioned it in the Qatar World Cup when we were doing the watch-alongs, and I'm mentioning it again in this tournament. The teams that have the width, that came through in wide areas, and start putting balls in the box are having so much more success than the others. We've seen it all tournament long. We saw it throughout the World Cup. Width is the key because so many teams play so narrow now, and it was England's biggest problem in the last couple of games. If we can get Luke Shaw fit on the left, if we can maybe get a full left winger out, I think you'll start to see something very different. Or even swap Saka and Foden, so Saka's on a natural left-footed side. I know it's not natural for him, but would give us natural width on both for now, though, with Walker at least. At least you didn't mess up this time. Exactly what England won't do. Yeah, nomadic, unfortunately. I think once Luke Shaw's fit, it will make a difference. You remember in the last Euros, we were really poor until Maguire came back, and then it completely changed the way we played. I do feel we might see the same in this tournament with Luke Shaw. And I don't think Trent will start the next game in midfield. As much as he didn't play poorly individually, we just need someone who can control that. Oh, what on earth is that? I have no idea what it is. It's the new Twitch alert. Sai, open a sticker pack. Thank you for that. That sound scared the life out of me. I knew there was an update to Switch with some of these things, but that was an interesting sound that I wasn't expecting. Right, let's have a look, Jambo, at the Who Am I quickly. Can't understand why England and Arsenal never swap Saka over to the left a bit. No, I mean, with Arsenal, they've got so many options on that left-hand side. Trossard and Martinelli. Havertz can drift out there. Reece Nelson as well. But at the moment for England, especially with us not having Shaw or anyone who's naturally just a left-footed left-sider. I mean, even Chuck Bowen out there for 15 minutes. All into the box for Austria. Unfortunately, not made anything of it from their point of view. Right, let's have a look at this Who Am I, and then we'll open the sticker pack. A quick update on that as well. There it is. 77 to go. You can order when you get to the final 50. So we need 27 more. And we are ready to send off and complete the book, which I haven't done since 2018. Who am I? I've played weird. Bear with me while the fizzy bottle opens. Jose Maria Jimenez, Toby Alderweireld, Ben Garuccio, Thomas Vermaelen, and David De Gea. Suarez is a great shout, but I'm not sure it's right. It's inspired if it is Eddie. I was going to say, wouldn't have played with De Gea. You know what, Nomadic? You beat me to a question I was about to ask. Ball over the top for Austria. Szczesny comes to head it, but there's 2-on-2 in the middle. The Poland player wins the header, which is absolutely pivotal. I mean, he had to come, Szczesny. Some awful left back who played for Hearts. I should have known it would be a Hearts link. I'm going to have to look up who Ben Garuccio is. He sounds like either he's US or Australian. Oh, yes. So he's played in Australia and for Hearts, basically. There's one clue then. Enough Hearts player, absolutely. AA, welcome in. Great to have you along. Got to be a Belgian Atletico player. But then where's the link with someone who's played for Hearts and for... If he's only played for Hearts and in Australia. Maybe a Belgian youth player who never made senior level, I don't know. Who's played for Hearts and Atletico? There's got to be someone about, hasn't there? It's been a decent match, AA. Austria started really well. Dominated for 10 minutes. Got the goal with the long throw. A recycle after the long throw. Poland have come back into it with a couple of big chances, but Austria's still the better from open play. Arnautovic feeds it on the edge of the box. Shots in. Deflects to Arnautovic. It's a great save from Szczesny. The flag then goes up. It did look off, I was about to say. But wonderful goalkeeping. Have there been any Belgians at Hearts in the last 10 years? Fellaini's a good shout because he's played in other countries as well. I can't work out that link now. Maybe the link's from Australia, I don't know. It's probably better to look for Belgians that have played in Australia than for Hearts, isn't it? Ball across the box from Poland again. Blocked to the edge of the box. And cleared away eventually. I wonder if we're all being led down a garden path with a Belgium link there. Because we're just assuming. Because Alderweireld and Vermaelen could just be a big club in England and a big club in Spain. I'm going to go for a Spaniard, you know. I think we're going to go Spaniard instead. But then it's another Spaniard who's played for either Hearts or in Australia. Could it be David Villa, Jambo? What about David Villa? Just because I know he played in Australia, didn't he? But was it Melbourne City he played for? No idea if that's one of the clubs Gruccio played for. Although would Villa have played with Alderweireld? Oh, where did he play with Alderweireld then? He was literally the only Spaniard I could think who played in Australia. Cheeky doing a retired option as well. Hang on a minute. I don't even remember David Villa playing for Atletico Madrid. I was after Barca. I was thinking, oh, it's only Valencia and Barca. It was after, wasn't it? Ah, fair play. Fair play. I can't believe you've got Ben Garuccio in there, who, even in this chat of fairly niche football fans that have heard of pretty much all of the world, no one had even heard of him. So the only thing I didn't know with Marlon is whether he would have overlapped there or not, but yeah. Yeah, Villa's retired. Jambo, that's a cheeky one. Liam Ryan McGowan, I like to thank him for that. Eddie's got a Who Am I in as well. You can see it on the screen now. I played with Leandro Bacuna, Virgil van Dijk, Leonardo Bonucci, Ryan Bertrand and Fraser Forster. While we work that outside, I will get the sticker pack open for you. 77 to go. Let's see if we can get it. Right, I'm putting a Southampton link in there for 3 of them. Van Dijk, Bertrand, Forster. I think with Bonucci. Bacuna could be... Did he play Ajax? He played somewhere in there, didn't he? I mean, Southampton and Ajax is immediately making me think Dusan Tadic, Eddie, but I don't think that would work out timing-wise, and I've no idea with Bacuna. But he definitely would have played with the 3 boys at Southampton. Oh, Graziano Pella's also a good shout. It's got to be someone from that Southampton era. Is it Tadic? Oh, that's some of my best work, that in a Who Am I. Considering I just run home from work 20 minutes ago, that is a pretty good effort. I'm happy with that. The fact I could get Ben Garuccio made me want to do it. Bacuna was Groningen. Yeah, I didn't know if he played for Ajax. Poland are growing into this game now, working down the left. Let's get the book out. We've completely lost the bottom hinge now, so you can see the bottom of the book beyond the border. Here we go, though. We start with Slovenia 13. Will we be seeing this man against England? Is he in the squad? No idea. Miha Jacques. Dan, welcome in. Sai, welcome in as well. Sorry, I completely missed your hello there. Very rude of me. I hope you're all well. Lovely to see so many in again. A reminder, we are live tomorrow for the first game of the day. And if it's anything like Georgia's first match, we are going to be in for an absolute treat. So do come along tomorrow at 2 PM UK time. First game of the day if you're anywhere else in the world. I'm really looking forward to that. Just because Georgia, probably my adopted second team on performance in their first game. And so unfortunate to lose. And obviously it's a big game again between the two sides that lost their first game. And the fact that we're getting these matches means they've got to go for the win. So we're getting entertainment. And also to confirm, I know we said we're going to be doing watch-alongs Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. The 8 PM Monday watch-along from Group B is going to be Italy v Croatia, which is a big shootout now, trying to get second and third. And obviously we'll talk about what's happened in the Scotland game at that point, because that would be at 5 PM. That would have been the night before, sorry. Itura Oda played for Iniesta. You make a fair point. Poland in down the right again. Good play out wide. Poland coming under pressure now. Poland have started to go more direct out wide, which is beating that press really quickly. No sight. We're on the first one now. Slovenia 13. You're absolutely spot on timing-wise. Thought Scotland played very well against the Swiss second half. Scotland gave everything last game. That's all the fans want, is performances like that. They're going to struggle in the next game on the counter-attack without Tierney at the back as well. They've lost a lot of mobility in defence. We saw the effects of not having Patterson or Hickey in that last game when Ralston basically gifted the goal. So I do think we'll see a little bit of Needle defensively. Oh, it's a great chance for Bednarek, and it's in from Poland on a second one. It's the same again, folks. We keep trying to do things in these streams, and the games are so good and so action-packed that we don't even get a moment to breathe. Poland are level. Again, a ball into the box that just can't be cleared. The defending from crosses has been so poor in this tournament. And Poland equalise. We've got a game on our hands. Daniel, I saw Roy Keane mention for the Wales job. I'm not sure he goes for that. I'm not sure he comes back for international management, personally. Scotland played very well against Swiss, yeah. Thought Bonucci would throw you off. Just immediately the 3 Southampton links came. I couldn't go away from that. This happens in FM streams too, though. Yes, but not as often as this. This tournament's been wonderful. The entertainment we've had, bar the England games, have been incredible. AA's excited Poland have scored. Mushroom's heart over head judgment is starting to come good now. And Jambo had Poland as well, didn't he? You're getting closer. No one had the draw, incidentally, which is where we are at the minute. Croatia won't qualify. Croatia have been poor. I tend to agree with you. I actually had them to finish bottom of the group, but I think it might be an interesting game because Italy will be nervy if it stays level for a while. And Italy haven't been great either. It's got to be said. They edged past Albania. And they were really, really poor against Spain. A very good Spain side. Cheating on all your loyal Scottish fans with Georgia as your second team. In terms of style of play, yeah, I want Scotland to go through. I make no mistake about it. And the Scottish fans know that secretly, but Brentford fans saying to rate this new signing. MK Dons fans, I presume that was. Jambo, judge him when you've seen him. It's the easiest way, isn't it? Connor, that's a good shout. It does look a bit like the Italy 06, the Buffon kit in that winning tournament. You're right. You're absolutely right there. Harvey, don't want Roy Keane. I can understand that. I think he'll only come back for club management anyway. I was interested to see Bellamy, the new favourite for the Burnley job, from a Luton point of view. I hope he gets it. 2 goals conceded by Italy, both down to centre-backs. Yeah, but the problem is with Italy is those centre-backs haven't been able to build experience because for 15 years, they had immovable objects. And they haven't got world-class defenders now. It's the first era in a long time. The only one they had coming through at that level was Spinazzola, and injuries curtailed him. Quite surprised Hearts kept a sign in secret, eh? Never be surprised in football. I wanted you to beat Serbia after what Serbia were chanting. It was ironic about their fans, and then the next day they're throwing cups at players and all sorts, aren't they? Didn't help. And he didn't deserve an equaliser yesterday, but it does make the group exciting on the final day, doesn't it? Right, Slovenia 13 was the first one. Unfortunately, we have got all of Slovenia by the foil artist sticker, so no luck with the first one, Si. Second one. We have got Romania top 1, which is the top 11 players, and this one, Valentin Mihaela. There he is. Let's see if we need him. That is Group E, isn't it? I think we've got most of these. So, yeah, unfortunately, both of those again we've already got. All we need is the foil star player for Romania. Interested to see who they've gone for in that one. Ruud van Nistelrooy, rumoured to have held touch with Burnley. Yeah, but he was odds on the other day. He's drifted right out now. So I wonder if something's happened there. And obviously they've gone through this weird step of appointing a new assistant manager, despite the fact they've not got a manager at the minute, which I find really bizarre. But you would have thought if that was done, they would have had a manager pretty much nailed on, but not to be at the minute. Next up, Denmark 11, star man from the Premier League, Christian Norgard. There he is. Let's see if we can get some luck. The ones we did yesterday evening were really good, so let's hope it's not bad today. Well, it's 0 out of 3, because there's Norgard. We've done that side of the page. The only one we haven't got there is the badge and one defensive player. I've got 4 players in mind for my next 2 MI to be made. I'll only do 1 per stream unless you get it very quickly. Yeah, that's the best policy, and especially as we're back tomorrow lunchtime as well. Why would anyone want to manage Burnley? To be fair, they're a good club to take on at the minute, because if you go to Burnley, apparently you've got the eyes of Bayern Munich on you. So, who knows? The next Burnley manager might replace Ancelotti at Real Madrid next summer. But the longer this is dragging on, just makes me more and more confident as a Luton fan. Yeah, 2 PM Jumbo, the first game of the day we're doing tomorrow. Can't wait to watch the Georgia game. I think it's going to be a cracker. And obviously we'll build up to the other 2 tomorrow, which are good games as well. And we'll talk about the one tonight, Netherlands v France, which I'm sure will be quite entertaining too. Apparently that system was in the works for weeks before Company left. Might have even been his pick, you never know. Next up we have Germany 12. And that man is Mario Götze. Now, I don't remember having him, so I think we might have some luck. And here we go. Germany 12 is free. It's one of the ones we're not doing that well on. We've still got 4 to go. Make that 3, because Mario Götze means we've had a success. Si, excellent work. You've got us down to 76 remaining. 26 before we can send off. I will give a shout out to Tops as well, because this has been so much better than the last couple of Panini ones. And the staple in the middle lasted longer. Just having a little lull in this game now, so good chance to get these done. There was this Champions playoff that meant nothing, my save that I lost in. Oh dear. But yeah, John, I'm glad Sunderland can't afford Marty. I don't know if that's a natural move anyway. If QPR are going to back him or give him at least autonomy, rather than financial backing, but autonomy, then staying in London gives you a better chance to shine. He's got a better chance to have stability and overachieve at QPR, or perceived overachieving, because of where Sunderland were under Mowbray a couple of years ago. And actually, I don't think there's a million miles between their 2 squads. It's just a key couple of areas with creative sparks and goals that Sunderland have got. Oh, that's a late challenge from the Poland midfielder. Foul to Austria. I think they give credence to the rumour that Bellamy had fallen out with Company. Yeah, possibly, Steve. Quite possibly. But Bellamy's... he's fallen out with a few people over his career, let's put it that way. Right, 5th sticker of the pack, and it is Greece number 6 and 7, which are Mavropanos and Giannoulis, 2 players plying their trade in the UK. I think, unfortunately, we might have finished Greece now. Let me hope I'm wrong. What page are they as well? Greece are page 80, right at the back. Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't got the last 2. But we have got most of Greece, so that one's not right. Let's see who the last one is. The last one is Portugal 3. The foil sticker is the artist, João Felix. I don't know if we've got this. I'm not sure at all. Let's hope not, because 2 out of the pack would be good work. Unfortunately, though, it's only 1. We've got all of the foil stickers and that side of the page. We need 3 on the other side. Fulham number 12, I'm guessing, will be Paulinho. Liverpool 20 will be Jota. And AC Milan 21 will be Rafa Leao, won't it? 1 out of 6. We can't complain if we're getting 1 at this stage, I don't think. So, good work, Si. You didn't give us a dud. Yeah, I mean, if Bellamy gets the Burnley job, I'll be more confident as a Luton fan. Because at the moment, as Inco, Austria, it's a bit shot blocked by Bednarek, I think. Szczesny was down. I think... the only sides that can, as it stands, challenge Luton, and I know we could lose half a team yet, but at the moment, my biggest worries would be Burnley and Leeds. I think Borough could have a very good season. I think Coventry will be up in that top 6 mix. But in terms of at the top of the table, my 2 biggest worries would be Burnley and Leeds. And this Burnley saga, even the manager situation dragging on for a month, It's going to delay you in a transfer window. It's going to hold things back. You're inevitably going to have time dealing with players wanting to go as well, which is the thing that cost Leeds last summer, and they'll probably have that problem this year as well. I do think it helps Luton. Obviously, Hull and Norwich sacked their managers. Sunderland still haven't appointed. Sheffield United are in disarray with the points deduction, going to have to sell players. So it's interesting. Who do you think would do well with Wales? I think the Wales job it's awful timing for someone to take the Wales job. And I know people mention like young coaches. Particularly in the Discord, a few mentioned young coaches. But I don't think a young coach takes it on at the minute because, look, Wales are coming towards the end of a golden era. And I know the argument, there's a lot of good young players coming through with Wales, but they haven't got, like in Ramsey and Bale, when they were fully fit in their peak, they had 2 world-class footballers playing Champions League football every season, who were at the peak of their powers in the Wales shirt, were well shouting out. They weren't people who were adopted over from English football and whatever else. They were just 2 world-class Welsh footballers. They've got some good young players coming through. They've got good attacking talent, lots of pace. They haven't got any world-class players coming through. They're not as strong defensively. That era, and that's been the biggest change in recent years as well. That era of Neil Taylor, Ben Davis, Ashley Williams, good solid defenders at top Premier League level. They haven't got that. Rodon's a good Championship defender. He's not a top Premier League defender. Ampadu, the jury's out. He's probably a top Championship, low Premier League. He's not world class. There's not 6 or 7 good Premier League players and 2 world class players. There's 5 or 6 good Premier League players and then a good solid Championship team behind it. And I think that's the difficulty. So I wouldn't be surprised if a more experienced person came in and maybe took the job for a couple of years and then see where the nation is. But ultimately, I think we saw it with Northern Ireland probably about 8 to 10 years ago when they had that great team of peak Johnny Evans, Macaulay, like a proper solid defence, Aaron Hughes, couple of good defenders, good effort from Sabitzer there just wide. And it becomes a much more difficult task when you haven't got that. But the expectation for those few years is still exactly the same. And it's going to be the same for Scotland in 5 or 6 years when McTominay and Andy Robertson, Kieran Tierney, if he can stay fit for that long, John McGinn, they're all going to be coming to the end at the same time. And is there another generation coming behind that is always the question. And is that generation as good? Because again, you look at Scotland now, Andy Robertson in his position is world class. And that's so unusual to have when you're at those levels. For foreign players, London might be more attractive to live, so recruitment might be a little easier. Yeah, and I think John, in terms of if he gets it right, and once they get out of this FFP cycle, if he can get a few cheap players in and sell a couple on for big money, he knows that he's going to have the opportunity. Whereas and you've got, this is why I mention autonomy as well. At Sunderland, you know you're not getting any autonomy. You know that you're going to be a head coach strictly. You're not going to be signing the players. You're not going to be having any say in the recruitment because we've seen that with Tony Mowbray. And you also look at it, if you're a young coach like Cifuentes, let's be honest, if he finishes anywhere from sort of, let's say in the FM world, if he avoids a relegation battle next season, anywhere from there and above, he's not under threat, is he? Let's be honest, he's not under threat. Yeah, the fans might not be happy if you're just lower mid-table or if you're not really comfortable or having a solid season or playing good football. The fans will get a bit grumbly, but he's not going to be under pressure for his job unless he gets sucked right into a relegation battle. At Sunderland, as we've seen, you can be sacked when you're 3 points off the playoffs, having just made the playoffs. So what the Sunderland ownership group have done in the last year is made their job a lot less attractive. Because young coaches know, well, I'm going to be bombed out as soon as I lose 3 or 4 games. If you sacked Mowbray after overachieving massively, what chance have I got? Because I'm not going to be able to be as consistent. I've not got the 20 years of overachieving experience that he has, and I've not got the playoff finish behind me. I did see that Nick Owen got an MBE. Absolutely delighted. And what a man. He was that I know he didn't put money in financially, but he was the face of that club when the supporters group took over. And I actually met him because obviously the week they took over, him and Gary Sweet, I was on work experience in year 10 as luck had it. Mick Harper became manager and that. They were phenomenal in the club, honestly. And we owe them everything for where we are now. So thrilled for him. Could you see Moyes take over from Steve Clarke after the Euros if there's a change to be had? Look, the only way there's a change after the Euros, in my opinion, is if Steve Clarke doesn't want a job. Again, the job he's done at Scotland is sensational. And it's the same as we've got down here with Southgate. You don't know what you've got till it's gone. Because Scotland are making history time after time in the last 6 years. England have been making history in the 21st century in the last 6 years. For the first 2 times, the last 2 Euros, we've won our first game ever in our history. And all people are worrying about is a draw against Scotland and a draw against Denmark in our second games. We'll be absolutely fine. And the same for Scotland. Steve Clarke's done a brilliant job. I could see Moyes wanting to take it at that stage of his career. I think when Rangers were top of the SPL, he was probably thinking, right, I'm going to have the Celtic job this summer. But, yeah, if Steve Clarke goes, I think Moyes will instantly become the favourite. But he might look at it as well and go, actually, can I take this nation any further? Because I've not got that star attacker. Can I tempt someone to come and play for Scotland like a Harvey Barnes or a whoever it may be? Free kick for Poland. Great save by the Austria keeper. Round the post with a strong hand. And the corner with 15 seconds of stoppage time to go will be the final action of the half. And what a half it's been as well. Another really entertaining game. We're discussing the Sunderland job, Eddie. And the Burnley job. We've just had a few chats about both. I don't rate Clarke, John. I don't know why. I think he did decent jobs at club level at certain times as well. Kilmarnock job, he was excellent. Did okay with West Brom. Didn't really work out, but circumstances were poor there. And there is the half-time whistle. Really, really good game of football, that. Such a good Euros, this. I remember Nick Owen on TV. Yeah, Nick and Anne. What a show. But yeah, just seems a good person. So really happy to see him get the reward. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of loving from Luton fans. Thank you everyone who's come and joined along as well. I know it was a bit of a rush to get started on time, but I do really appreciate it. We will take a quick break in a couple of minutes, as we always do at half time, just to top up the drinks, get the refreshments, and for me, maybe change shirt because this one's a little bit sticky. And then we'll watch the second half, which should be a really good game. In the second half, we will discuss the Netherlands-France game this evening, which we've not mentioned at all yet. And we will talk about Slovakia-Ukraine from earlier, which again, we've not really discussed. We won't look ahead to tomorrow too much because we're doing the first game of the day. We can talk about all 3 then. And that reminder again, we will be live for the first game tomorrow. Georgia v the Czech Republic. 2 sides that need a win again. Steve, more info than needed. Sorry. It's such a lovely shirt, but it is stuck to me at the minute. I can't be any less subtle. Or any more subtle, sorry. You can tell I've been at work for 9 hours. The brain fog's there, isn't it? He still presents my local news updates, yeah. Good on him. Safe pair of hands, that's what you need, isn't it? No, Eddie's drifted out now and Craig Bellamy's favourite. So if we get the odds up quickly, we'll do this before we go to half time. So Nistelrooy's just drifted out completely and Craig Bellamy is now odds on. The problem is here, I think Craig Bellamy, and you correct me if I'm wrong here, Steve, is the 6th person to become odds on for the Burnley job. I know this because we have to check it every day for the podcast to make sure they're not they've not been an appointment. And I've been jotting them down. Yeah, Bellamy is the 6th person that I've seen to be odds on for the job. So let's just accept they don't know. What about Sunderland? Let's have a look at them. Well, Sunderland, we are about to have an appointment by the looks of it. Because when it gets to this odds, in fact, it's been suspended. So Sunderland are about to make an appointment. Regis Labrie was 6-1 on this morning, and betting is now suspended. So maybe they finally got their man. Now, this is an interesting one because he's at Lorient at the moment, isn't he? And his record is, I'd say, mediocre there. But then Lorient aren't the strongest side in the world in Ligue 1. Owen, good evening. Good to have you in. And of course, Lorient got relegated this season. So I'm intrigued by that one. Of course, they had a weaker side. Oh, and his nephew's in the team at Lorient as well. I tell you what, if Regis Labrie comes to Sunderland, first signing's going to be Theo Labrie, I think. I think we can put some money on that one. So Lorient, he's been the manager for 2 seasons. And by the looks of it, they've gone down this season. Had they come up the year before, or were they already in the top tier? Let's have a look. No. So they got relegated in their second season. So that's interesting. They've also got 17-year-old Junior Krupi, who, if you follow Sunday's FM save, will be joining us at Aberdeen. Who's a bit of a wonder kid in the footballing world. Now, if he could bring him with him to Sunderland, that would be a big one. Yeah, not the most straightforward appointment on paper. But an interesting one. And they've been bringing a lot of players of French descent or from the French league. So I can understand the thinking. But yeah, interesting. And it looks like it's pretty much done now. So hopefully they'll wait till at least tomorrow for that one. Sunday would be ideal. Michael Beale's available. Careful. Yeah, Bullen, welcome in. I've gone for 3-1 Austria as well. So I hope you're right. I want my prediction to be spot on too. Might as well rehire Chris Coleman. Vanessa always had talks. My understanding is talks with others continues. Some of the names. I mean, Steve, to be honest, you've gone for about 10 years worth of classic FM managerial appointments at Burnley in your last 5 interviews, basically, haven't you? So there's been some cracking names in there. I'd be very surprised if it's Bellamy still at this point. Got to be honest with you. Yeah, Roy Keane, early favourite for Wales, surprises me. England struggling in the cricket, Harvey. Yeah, it's been such a patchy tournament. Looked brilliant in spells against the Windies. Really poor in the first game against Australia. I'm counting the games against the big sides. And today seems to be a struggle as well. Nomadic has a focus on youth development, which probably appeals for Sunderland. I can understand that thinking, Nomadic, but on the flip side of that, you've got to have a manager that has some suggestion of winning matches. And Labrie doesn't have that. I go for the same again. Sunderland should have gone to Tony Mowbray, apologised, said, hope you're getting better. When are you going to be healthy? Would you like the job back? That is the right move for Sunderland. But that's not the move they're going to take because owners are a little bit too strong for themselves, aren't they? Why did Burnley not go after Sheffield Wednesday's manager? He just signed a new deal, Si, which has a very big release clause in it. If Rob Edwards gets poached, I've said it for a whole year now, Danny Roll's my first choice. If we lose Rob Edwards 21, I want Danny Roll. I'm half expecting my name to come up, Steve. Hey, you never know. Enroll on one. How many coaching badges have you got? Can you enroll on one quick enough? Winning matches will also help. Exactly. 30% win rate. Second season relegated. I'm not sure that's a recipe for success, but you never know. While Graham Potter is sitting at home having his emotions played. Well, it was his own fault, wasn't it? He asked for more money. I actually think Leicester have lucked out. I think Potter is... I think Cooper's a better option than Potter, in my opinion. I know there's the Forest link, but Cooper will win them over. I think Cooper's one of the best young managers in the UK. I could see... I know he's been heavily linked with a Sweden job, Potter. I wonder if... I still think Potter will be favourite for the England job. Southgate will walk after this summer. Whether he wins the Euros or goes out in the last 16, he'll walk. It's just whether he walks a hero or an average manager at this point. So I think it will be Potter for England, because I don't think Howe would leave Newcastle for it yet. Right, I've just realised we've only got about 4 minutes to the second half, so we're very quickly going to take our break. 3 minutes. If you're happy to leave the ads running, it does make a big difference. I disagree with you on Southgate a bit, Si, but we'll come to that in the second half. We're going to take 3 minutes. Luke Garrard will still be available, Eddie, absolutely. We're going to our first pre-season game against at Bournemouth in a few weeks' time. Looking forward to it. An interesting appointment there with Ross Jenkins as well. We'll be back in 3 minutes. If you're happy to leave the ads running on Twitch, it does make a difference. Don't go anywhere other than topping up your drinks and getting a snack. And we'll be back for the second half. I'll see you in 3. Have a good one. And we're back, ready for the second half. Thank you for sticking with us, everyone. It's always been good fun. I've really enjoyed it in this Euros, and it was the same in the last one as well. Having a nice football chat whilst we're doing this is good fun. And I'm sure over the next few weeks, when we get to the latter stages, it will become transfer and pre-season talk as well. People panicking because they've lost their first friendly and so on. All the usual fun. I never see these ads you keep talking about. I have no idea. Apparently they're supposed to show to everyone who's not subbed, but who knows? I don't know. Sorry, have you got Twitch Turbo? That's the only other thing I can think of. If you've got Twitch Turbo, you won't see them. But yeah, I have to show 3 minutes an hour now due to the Twitch updates. I never used to show them before, which is annoying. Oh, Mushroom, they won't be happy with my ads. They won't be happy with mine. Eddie, if Sunderland still need a manager on the 1st of August, Luke Garrard will be available. Has he not gone anywhere yet, Luke Garrard? I really thought maybe he's going to take a break. He put so much into the community as well as the club. So I do wonder where he'll end up. No, I've got nothing. I just saw your face for 3 minutes, eh? There's worse things in the world than my beautifully heavy photoshopped image, isn't it? Or I should say Canva'd image, because it wasn't photoshopped. But I disagree, Si, with Southgate being clueless so far. I've got to say, I do think that I'm gonna stick a conspiracy theory on the line here. I actually think, as well as being top of the group and getting through, I actually think. What on earth's going on with ITV there? Have they got the cameras wrong? Or are they just trying to show off that they've got something? Oh, yeah, they're going to the fan part. That's why. I'm going to stick my theory in with Southgate that he's doing this when we concede a goal to put a little bit of optimism into the opposition that they can come out us after we score. And then we're going to go, when we play a top opposition or in the knockout round, we're going to go all out attack when we score the first goal and make it 2, 3, 4 and 5. But I mentioned this yesterday in the Discord. Every tournament under Southgate, we have been shocking in the second game. The USA in the World Cup battered us, and we had exactly the same after this. Oh, we should sack him mid-tournament. The squad he's picked awful. They're terrible players. Why hasn't he changed 5 players in the team? We had the same after the Scotland game in the Euros, where if you remember, Scotland won it that night because we were so poor and Scotland played us off the park. Billy Gilmore was the best thing since sliced bread, and Declan Rice couldn't play football to save his life. And here we are again yesterday. We'll be fine. We'll get a result against Slovenia, whether it's a draw or win. We'll get through, top of the group. And I'm sure we'll be better in the last 16. There you go. Chill out, everyone. Sunderland Burnley can have Ian Hevitt if they're desperate. Nomadic, can I say something? I am baffled he kept his job after that final. I'm so surprised. With the biggest budget in the league, he didn't get in the top 2. He then didn't get... because he kept talking about, oh, Derby have got as big a budget as us and all that. Yeah, but Pompey didn't. You never kept mentioning that. But I couldn't believe that Ian Evatt kept his job after that. The way you played throughout the playoffs as well. The second leg against Barnsley was bad enough. But yeah, Mushroom, I'm glad the ad suited you, sorry. It's not his squad, it's his tactics. Why is Trent in midfield? He's been useless there. Well, technically, he's not been useless there. He's been statistically our best player in both games, actually. But he doesn't control the game well enough. But the clamouring was, you've got to get Trent in a team. So now he's basically, I think, gone too far to try and appease the fans and then worked out, actually, that's not the solution. He should have just stuck to his guns. And that would have been the better approach from the start. I said it before. When he said about replacing Calvin Phillips yesterday, which was misquoted a bit, but he's right to an extent. Ross Barkley's been playing that role for Luton this year. He's got 30 odd England caps. He's played under Southgate for England in 2016 and 17. I was really surprised he didn't make the squad. Absorbent, welcome in. Predictions for the second half. Lovely to see you in the chat as well. I've gone for 3-1 Austria in the game, so I'm going to stick with it because it's still possible. I do think Austria are the better side, but Poland came back into that half very well. Eddie, I know you're not a fan of Phillips. He's had a tough year or two, but at his best, he's a good player. I'd really love, if he wasn't on so much money, we could have got someone like him at Luton and done what we did with Ross Barkley last year and just got the confidence back. For 3 years, people saying Ross Barkley's finished. Went to Luton a year later, he's brilliant. And we could do the same with him, but I think he'll go back to Leeds, if I'm being honest. Our board will never sack Everett, but he had to go after that disgraceful final. It's just his attitude, the fact that he falls out with players so quickly. There's not a consistent style of play. Because the season before you were very good defensively, but set up on the counter too often. This year, much more attacking, better going forward, but he can't then combine that with a good defensive record. As Austria break away down the left, I think Sabitza's timed his run okay. Can he keep it in? He can. There's options in the middle, but two arriving. Two on the edge as well. It's a good ball, but just over here. It's going to run out for a throw, I think, on the far side. You're going for 2-1 to Poland. Yeah, it's still, I mean, all results are still on. And as we mentioned, because these both lost their first game, there's that big pressure then on winning the second one and getting a result. Especially when you consider that the group's full of pretty strong teams. This is the game that they're both targeting to win. Same tomorrow when we look at Georgia v the Czech Republic. They'll both be looking at that approach as well. So I think these are going to be really entertaining matches. Harvey, I've come over to Twitch to the second half. Thank you very much. Obviously, all of the features and the all singing, all dancing stuff for the FM streams in particular is on Twitch. I have done a quick update in the Discord today. We've been trialing the multi-streaming over the last week. After the group stages, it comes to an end. And unfortunately, I don't think we can continue with it because the effect it's had on the views and the watch time on YouTube videos is insane because they're not getting publicised as much because it's showing off the streams more. So the way it was balanced out on YouTube, it is the original reason we moved over, as well as some of the extra features that Twitch had. So I think, unfortunately, the issue's not resolved, so we'll have to go back to just Twitch after. So you'll be able to find us here in the long term. But we've got a 15-day trial, so we'll make the most of it. Rumour mill, West Ham to sell Kudus, only if they're forced to. The only reason Kudus goes is if he refuses to stay, which he can't officially with the contract he's got, or if someone comes and bids out the water and the agent gets a bit cheeky. I mean, I think West Ham fans are going to be in for a shock when they see how unadventurous Lopetegui's tactics generally are. I know he's got a more exotic name, but you might as well call him Moisetegi, to be honest. Jumbo, welcome in. Denmark should have won, Nud. Hey, better team, but it's an important point for you. I think against Serbia, I think Serbia are the weakest team in the group defensively, so I do think you'll win that game. I think we'll draw with Slovenia or beat Slovenia, and that will come down to who tops the group. But Slovenia are a tough side. We've seen that in both games. I was so gutted for them yesterday, honestly. They were absolutely brilliant. And as I mentioned in the Discord earlier, on the ITV competition, if they hadn't got that last corner and scored from it, Serbia, I would have won a very healthy jackpot in a UK competition. So, all the more annoying. Changed to 2-1 Austria ready. He's switched. Is he going to regret it? I think if it's still 1-1 Nomadic, or if Poland are behind, Bobby Lewandowski gets a little run out. I think if it's 2-1 to Poland, you're not going to see him. You might see an extra 3 defenders come on. A reminder as well, later in the second half, we will do a free sticker pack opening, which we always do. And we are live for the first game tomorrow, so we'll save a few quizzes and that for then. And it's actually back to FM streams on Sunday morning, a transfer special with Aberdeen. Where do you think West Ham will finish this season, AA? A lot lower than they did last year. I mean, I'm looking at the top of the Premier League. The top 8, bar we don't know what's going to happen with Chelsea, but should be the top 8 again. Let's be honest. There'll probably be a significant shifting of the order within that 8. Sunday morning, Jumbo. The Sunday morning streams will be FM no matter what. So we'll still be doing every Sunday morning FM. Obviously, don't forget from next Wednesday, there's not games most days in the week. So we'll probably try and do one midweek FM stream again then, like we were before. But yeah, Sundays will be FM no matter what. And then we'll try and squeeze in midweek. Maybe next week we're going to be doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with watch-alongs. But then from the week after. Oh, what do you think the next stream save will be after Aberdeen? I don't know. I'm going to do, before FM25 comes out, I'm going to do the FM09 Luton -30 season, just for a bit of nostalgia. So that will either be Twitch or YouTube. I haven't decided yet. I feel like if I don't do it on Twitch, then people will say that I've cheated if I win any games. But then people say that anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. And if I do it on YouTube, I'm going to get frustrated when it keeps crashing. Whereas when it's on Twitch, we can have a laugh and joke about it and it will distract me. So I don't know. If not Jambo, I'll do something as a one-season wonder. Yeah, Jambo, it's just that the game's really unreliable. Like, it does crash on odd games. Like, weirdly, in that Hamilton save, Hearts Away, every time it crashes. No other game. But as soon as you press kickoff in Hearts Away, it crashes. No idea. Poland on the attack here, 25 yards out. Wrong decision to shoot. Yeah, I think... I don't know about relegation battle, but I certainly think bottom half. You look at the bottom of the table, I think inevitably Southampton and Ipswich are going to be in it. Leicester may be clear, but again, we're not sure if Cooper's going to be given enough to build the squad up. They've had their own troubles. And don't forget, with Leicester, with the FFP rules staying as they are this year, they can now be punished for their breach 2 years ago, the year they went down. So they might lose a few points as well, I wonder. So the three that come up are always going to be in the battle. You look at last season, I think Forest will be poor if they keep Nuno. I think he's worse than Cooper. Who else was there last year? Will Bournemouth be the same again? Only takes Solanke to have a bad year. Wolves aren't spending money again. If they sell Neto or they sell Hwang, they're going to be in trouble for me. Fulham, if they lose Polinia, there's not a great deal of quality in that side. It could start to fall down, but then Marco Silva proved everyone wrong this year. Everton, you know, are still going to be in the mix because they're going to have points deductions or whatever thrown at them again. Certainly not going to be able to spend much. So yeah, I do think it's going to be maybe at the edge of that sort of bottom 7 or 8 rather than the edge of the top 7 or 8 as they've been most of the years under Moyes. I probably will do it on Twitch, Jambo, but we'll wait and see. The problem is, it'll probably depend on what finishes first, because obviously the coach's head now I would expect to go to the end. It's whether we get to the end at the Southend save or Aberdeen first, because if I'm loving Aberdeen, I'll just do it all the way through. And depending on how quickly we get to the level we want. So the truth is, Jambo, it will probably just go on whichever one the series finishes first, is the simple answer. We got -30 in League 2 due to the FA being incredibly harsh and the EFL. I won't bore you with the politics of it, but obviously it's the greatest points deduction in English football history. So League 2 that season, Luton got -30 and Bournemouth and Rotherham started on -17. But Luton were also under transfer embargo until 2 days before the season. So then had to patch together a squad late on, and Norwich did us a favour, sending us Chris Martin and Michael Spillane. But that was also the year we then went to Wembley, broke the attendance record at the time for a single team, and won the Johnston Paint Trophy. So a mixed bag of a season. But yeah, if you go and get FM09, you can choose from Luton on -30 or Bournemouth and Rotherham on -17 in League 2. And the last 2 seasons, all of them were back in the top 2 tiers of English football, which is an incredible effort. Which is why the Luton fans were having such a laugh when the Everton fans put that big digital banner up about Luton and Bournemouth, you might be next, earlier in the season when they lost points. Harvey, I love little glitches like that. Back in FIFA 08, before I knew FM was better, I had an invisible nanny, which was confusing. Oh, there was a free kick glitch on FM 05. I mentioned it the other day with the manager crew. It was the first one where you could pick from 3 clubs at the worst teams in League 2. And I always picked Chester City. They had Michael Branch up front, who later became a criminal in real life, but we won't worry about that. And there was a glitch on one type of free kick where no matter what you did with it, the ball would always go skied up in, even if you hit it perfectly. It was hilarious. And in PES 16 that we always play on the podcast gatherings, the goalkeepers are hilarious if you haven't got that one. And Pro Evolution Soccer 2, we always play that at the podcast gatherings as well. And it is very hard to get sent off for an instant red card in that game. And what about This Is Football for all the older folk in the early 2000s as well? The deliberate dive button. AA, any thoughts on who you're going to manage next year? So, ironically, AA, in February or March, I had it all set in stone. I knew exactly what I was going to do. Then Boreham Wood got relegated. And that's really thrown me because you know how I am. I know that the English saves don't get as many views as a Build a Nation or a Youth Academy Challenge, whatever else. But I always pledged that I would do the saves on YouTube that I would do in normal if I didn't have a YouTube channel, if I was just managing off camera. And Boreham Wood is probably that save. So there's a strong chance Boreham Wood will be the initial long-term save. I had a Youth Academy Challenge planned in England, which I'd probably have to put on the back burner now, maybe for a year. And I'm a bit worried about next year's game because of, obviously, it's a big change with women's football coming in, with the new user interface, the new graphics engine. It's going to be a big change to the game, and I think a few of the big things will go wrong, which we saw in FM09 in particular. So I'll probably stick with one long-term save to start with. I was going to do a Youth Academy Light Jambo with Boreham Wood. Because I can't just do it normal, because it's been too easy this year with Southend. But obviously Boreham Wood are going to be a league lower. And it'll be a bit more tricky with, hopefully, Torquay first season being strong. 2 players down injured here, just waiting for the Poland free kick. So yeah, I think FM25 will be tough. I'm planning... My main plan, to be honest, aside from the one save, is to do more guides and things like that, because that youth development guide I did at the start of FM24 was, I think, is about to become my highest viewed video ever on the channel. It's got the most watch time of any video I've ever done, and I do really enjoy making the guides. So it'll probably be one long-term save, and then... But then if we're doing one long-term save every day, we'll probably get 3 in the course of a year. As a Bolton fan, we went through like 4 years ago. Yeah. Every club has its moments. Because you obviously had that stupid deadline day thing on Sky with Bury, didn't you? Where you didn't know if you were going to survive. And Bury went the other way. You survived it, you built back up. And a lot of those clubs end up in stronger positions if they can get through it. Mainly because the fans have a newfound perspective. You saw the way our fans stuck with us in the Premier League. It's something that you've probably not seen before at the bottom of the table. Whether that'll happen if we're not in the top 6 come Christmas this year, I'm not sure. I'm getting behind on the chat, so apologies, but it's so great to see so many of you in here. I mention this all the time. We might have a fairly small community, but the chat is always so active compared to all the streams we go in after, so it makes a massive difference. And if you haven't as well, go and follow Owen, because Owen streams quite regularly. So go over to How We Roll Owen as well. Is minus 30. It's the biggest deduction in English football history. I'm not sure it is in football history. I think Bangor City the other year, after we managed them in FM, got minus 42, but then they got some back. And then, was it Airbus or Kefin Druids? One of the sides we managed in Wales after that got a massive one as well. So I don't think it is in football history. But it is in England, I'm sure. Now to know, Chloe, why this is working. Let's have a look. God, I'm miles behind, aren't I? Michael Branch, he was such a good young player. But I think I saw an interview because he started up some foundation or something after breaking away from crime. And he talks about the pressures and not dealing with it. I mentioned we interviewed Neil Wainwright in lockdown on the podcast quite a lot. LMA03 was one of the best young players in English football, but mentioned it just couldn't cope with that pressure. Everton will surprise people, especially if the Freaking deal goes through. No, Everton, I don't put them down there because of their quality. Under Sean Dyche, I'd expect them to be mid-table, but it's whether they get more deductions, whether they get more financial penalties, who they can sell and get off the books to get people in, what happens with a stadium when they move in, if they move in this season, etc. There's a lot around it at the minute, isn't there? Well, not by the looks of it, with the inverted winger on attack, you'll get 3 players in the box. You've got 2 wing-backs flying forward and getting crosses in. I think that looks a pretty solid tactic. You're getting it wide, you're getting it direct. The get stuck in would worry me because you get enough sendings off when you're just playing leniently, so Could run away from the ref on FIFA 95. Which one was it that had the indoor? Was it 96 or 97 side? That was the first one I played. You could dive in FIFA 98 as well. So the first FIFA I had was 99 on the PS1. And then I later got 97 and 96 as old school ones. You don't realise back then how bad the old FIFAs were. Like PES 2 compared to the FIFA 01 and 02 is a different league. That PES 2 is still a great game. And LMA 03 was just the king. Yeah, Big Bobby is on. We didn't mention it in the chat there, did we? Jake, it will probably be Bournemouth initially with some element of restriction on transfers or youth academy, because I want to do the saves I would do off camera, and Bournemouth are a side we go to watch a lot. I would have managed them off camera, so I think we will probably do something with them. But then we might end up doing that on Twitch and moving over. I haven't fully decided yet. I had it all planned out until they got relegated. They've ruined the lot for me. I think FM25 will be good. I don't think PL will sign off the licensing if it was going to be a bad product. Well, they know the game's going to be a good product. I just mean there's going to be a lot of glitches in the graphics engine. There's a lot of things to incorporate for this year. Now, the women's football one's not so bad because they've hired a separate research team and they've been working on that for 2 or 3 years to get it properly right. But a graphics engine is always a risk. You never know. Harvey, thank you for the follow as well. Sorry, I didn't see that pop up in the alerts. Let me just check it's working quickly. It is. Right, sorry. I must have just missed it. I find myself with Jambo again. You do all these challenges. I think it would be fun just to see you play a team like City. Just blow a bunch of money and see how many trophies you can win in 2 to 3 seasons. Well, that was sort of my initial plan, Mushroom, before FM25, because I thought, at the time, I thought maybe we'd be at risk of having just moved house or whatever. Looks like it'll be after now, but the plan was to do one long-term save, more guides, and then maybe do sort of a couple of just quick, I'm not going to call them rebuilds because they're not, but sort of beta length save or short saves, because I quite enjoy them, but I don't often do them on camera. As Austria get in from a set piece, was it onside? Pinball in the box is eventually cleared, then the flag goes up. So yeah, I think we'll probably end up doing one long-term save and then a few short-term saves alongside the guides and that, because I've already got, to put it into perspective, I've got 8 or 9 guides written and I only did 3 this year, so I think there'll be a lot more on that. And ironically, probably most of my views and income from FM content comes from the blog, which I've barely updated for the last year, but still somehow picks up views across the world. So I guess for people who don't want to read captions and things on videos that are poor in YouTube, you can just do direct translations on articles, can't you? I probably wouldn't, to be honest, Mushroom, I probably wouldn't do a challenge like City where you just have infinite money and go and blow it all to try and get trophies, but I would like to. It's something I mention. I never really get to manage the top players before they retire or get to retirement age. So I would like to do a save at that sort of, maybe the secondary level. Like I did one at the end of FM23 with Bristol City, and I really enjoyed it because I had some good young players that were Premier League prospects by the end of it. So something along those lines I would quite like. And obviously we did the Luton Switch save this year, but that was a unique one. Nervous but excited for FM25. Yeah, cautiously optimistic. I'll put the link in here, Rogerio. It's not been updated for ages. I think that's the right link. There it is. It's not been updated for ages, but it's like some of the, for the most part, it's the written form or the script that's been edited a little bit that I use for like the guide videos or for the top 3 videos where we do top 3 save ideas for FM24, things like that. But then I also do some of the nostalgia stuff and that on there as well, but I have majorly slacked off this year while house hunting. Jambo, can I ask a question, maybe personal? Do you still get money from your old videos or is it limited time? So on YouTube, as long as your video's monetized still, it carries on for as long as need be. Basically, the way YouTube's set up now, you barely get a penny if people are watching the ads. If people click on the ads or click through to something because it's something that interests them or whatever, then you get a bit more. Twitch, you only get it for the 2 weeks that it's on the on-demand. So from the streaming, you lose quite a lot, because where the streams are still on from FM21 on YouTube, if people watch them now, you'll get money from them still. But yeah, not massively. I mean, the truth is, Jumbo, probably most old videos are lucky to get 1 view a week. It's only really some of like the old guides and like the only example I've probably got is I did a introduction to the data hub when it was new in FM22. That's probably my only old video that still gets a fair few views and probably makes 20p a month as Austria get in, and it slid away beautifully. What a finish that is. Austria go 2-1 up. It's been a quiet second half, to be honest, and the celebration with Ranić tells you everything. These boys love him. And now Ranić is saying, you calm the hell down, son. Really good goal. And the Austria prediction's starting to look a bit better. I appreciate I'm miles behind on the chat, but as I've said before, these games are just too full of action. They haven't scored 23. There we go. Really well worked goal. I thought they were getting caught. Poland were pressing them high. They work around them, get it out to that left-hand side. Again, width. How many times have we talked about width? Lovely little drop of the shoulder on Arnautovic. Steps over the ball. Do you know what? That's brilliant from Arnautovic. He steps over it. He draws a defender away. The finish through the legs, cool as you like. We're seeing that through the legs finish a lot, aren't we? In this tournament. And Baumgartner, who missed that great chance against France. No mistake there. Wonderful goal. Austria 2-1 up. So yeah, Jambo, probably bar that FM22 data hub. You can. It's not like it's a limited time, but you very rarely do. It's a simple answer. But then to put it into perspective, it's not a huge amount of money. Like most at this stage of the year, where the views on the sort of daily videos are about maybe 150 to 200 per average episode after a week or so. You're probably talking £2 a video, that sort of price. So you're not getting a huge amount of revenue out of it. That's why things like the Twitch subs, the HelloFresh sub sponsorships, and those who are YouTube members, patrons, and that's the thing that makes the difference. How much of a change is this new version going to be? I think it'll be the biggest change in a long time. I really do. I mean, we're getting a whole new graphics engine and interface. It's going to have to be completely different. We're either going to be wowed or we're going to see promise for a game that's not quite there yet. Let me put it this way to you. I think FM26 will be phenomenal. That's how I feel about it. I think we'll just get a few of those little teething issues next year. Owen, I was looking at the other 91 wondering, would I have to pick a new team? We had 40 million of debt. Yeah, it was a horrible situation that day. Oh, Poland straight in at the other end. Shot. Test the goalkeeper. Punched away strongly. I mean, yeah, 18:21 now. I'm 8 minutes behind on the chat. It's so active. It's been brilliant. Really appreciate it all. And it is me waffling on something. Yeah, Jambo, I don't know. Someone definitely got a 42.1 in Wales, but it was pushed back a bit, I think. But yeah, like yourselves, Owen, we went to the final day and just came out of it. They'll sell Onana and the young centre-half. Yeah, I can see Onana going. Branthwaite, if they can get the big money, I think they will. I wouldn't be surprised if there's one or two more as well. I see they got Harrison on loan again, so they're doing some good cheap deals. Leeds want to keep Harrison for if they come back up. Harrison wants to play Premier League football, so that's worked for both of them. And Arnautovic's been booked. Harvey, we shouldn't get more deductions. We don't even need to sell Branthwaite. Yeah, selling Dobbins a clever deal. 9 or 10 million quid there by the looks of it. And with a buyback and a sell on. It's the sort of thing Everton have got to do, isn't it? A few of them. Basically peak Atletico. But yeah, I think Onana will be the one. What confuses me the most is the two support roles in midfield. Yeah, but a deep line playmaker on support is still offensive, still effectively a defensive role. So if you've got a deep line playmaker and a support and then a box-to-box or a ball winner, you should be all right. But yeah, I can see concede so many penalties, especially when I play lower leagues, even when I tell them to ease off tackles. I mean, to be fair, Bergie, that is probably realistic. You see a lot more mistakes and a lot more rash moments in lower league football. And obviously the referees in FM are set up to be a standardised level, which is more the top level. So you don't get that leniency you would get with non-league refs in real life. Bobby in the book, and now Big Marco in the book as well. I'm nearly up to date with the chat now. Is 4-4-2 dead as a tactic in FM? Oh, God, no. Have you seen the Southend save this year, AA? We've gone from bottom to top with 4-4-2. 4-4-2 is the king this year. I actually think it's made a comeback the last couple of seasons. And it's making a comeback in real life a bit, to be fair. You're seeing even Pep playing a variation of it at times this season. Ball in from Poland is good. They're getting it wide. They're going aggressive. But, yeah, 4-4-2. I think 4-4-2 as a controlling tactic is dead, AA. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. 4-4-2 as a controlling tactic is dead. 4-4-2 as a counter-attacking tactic or as a wing play tactic if you're playing with target men and you want to get the ball forward. Brilliant. Bear with me. Need to get a big cough out. Let me pause the audio. There we go. That's better. Yeah, really nice goal, Jambo Nomadic. Jambo, you're not winning the Predictor League. I'm having a good one this time. If I'd got that Slovenia-Serbia, though, I wouldn't have cared about the Predictor League because I would have won 25 grand on ITV picks. Austria won Euro 2028 on my Wales FM save after beating me in the quarterfinals on pens. That's gut-wrenching, isn't it? I hate it when you lose a game on pens early in the competition and then they go on to win it and you just think what might have been. Or when you lose a game and you see how open a draw is afterwards. But it's not just the managing in international football that's broken in FM. The whole structure of it is because some of the tournament winners are bonkers in there. Yeah, Ruggiero, the Baggio story's really sad and also bizarre. Just such a shame. Hopefully he gets through it and he's all right. When they find whoever did it, they're going to get the absolute book thrown at them. One of the most legendary people in their nation. Now, I guess the question is, with 17 to go, will Austria hold on to the lead? Again, it's been a very active game. We had a 15-minute lull at the start of the second half, but it's been a really good game again overall. Austria getting ready to make changes. It's seeing people like Thomas Tuchel become Kosovo manager or something like that, yeah. But then we've seen bonkers moves, haven't we? I mean, I didn't know till Steve said this morning that Jesse Marsh was the Canada manager now. It's only 2026. Took him over in the championship, got 7th, currently 2nd. Oh, got promoted, ending 7th, currently 2nd. Let's have a look. I mean, to be fair, I mentioned it the other day. Most of the saves I've had in FM24, Everton have ended up being a top 7 side consistently in the Prem. And those people, the Garners, the Ananas, the Pattersons are still there 10, 12 years in. Obviously, we signed Pickford and a Luton save this year. We know how good he is. I'd like taller fullbacks than you've got. You've got Bramthwaite in there as well, yeah. So you've got a lot of good originals. And they've got better mentalities this year. As Austria edge of the box, good save, Chesney. Ruining my 3-1 prediction there. Yeah, Nomadic, when Arnautovic plays up front for Austria, whenever I've seen him in big tournaments, he just turns into... And to be fair, he's played well for Bologna when I've seen him in recent seasons at times as well. But he plays like that half a season at West Ham where he was just unplayable. Right, as we've got 15 to go in a little lull, I will do the free sticker pack opening of the day. And that will take us through most of the rest of the game. I guess as I've rambled on for about 15 minutes to your questions of what I'm planning to do for FM25, have any of you got your save ideas yet? What you're going to do, who you're going to manage, how you're going to go about it? I'd be interested to get your thoughts on that. Who are you planning to manage in FM25? The one thing I can promise you is it won't be Luton again. But I've got a few little ideas for a stream save that I might do, and I might go back to a club I've managed before for a certain reason. Yeah, I didn't know at all that Jesse Marsh had gone to Canada. I'd seen him doing loads of media stuff, so I presumed he'd just not got a job again yet. I saw them lose to Argentina, but that high line will be interesting against Chile. Jambo, heart save definitely. I don't know about the other team. And obviously on Twitch, I will want to give women's football a go because, as you know, I'm not one of those people. I go and watch women's football. I like it. I'll give it a go, even if I get stick for it. Jambo, Motherwell, Derby, Viborg. All sides I've managed before. None of them. Viborg would be a tempter, but no. Right, let's get this pack open and going. We know we've got the first one because the first one is Slovenia 20. And that is Andras Sporra. Now, unfortunately, as Austria in again, round the keeper, Szczesny's brought him down. That's a penalty. 3-1, yellow cards. And my prediction might be about to come true here. Sabitzer does phenomenally there. His midfield running is brilliant. Triple jeopardy rule, Nomadic. He's made a genuine attempt to win the ball. He's just not won it, so it can't be a red. And let's be fair, the touch from Sabitzer went out of play, so it's not a clear goal-scoring opportunity either. Yeah, he's made a genuine attempt for the ball. He's just late, so it would never be a red. And it's also not a clear goal-scoring opportunity, even if not. Oh, I'm not sure that is a penalty, you know. I'm going to stick my neck on the line here. Sabitzer should kick Szczesny in the face. That's not a penalty, is it? He's made no contact with him other than Sabitzer kicking him in the face. Is that a penalty? Genuinely, what can Szczesny do there? Is that a foul because he's laying there and Sabitzer kicks him in the face? Really? I'm surprised that's been given after VAR. I'm going to stick my neck on the line. I know I've talked in the first half about how brilliant the refereeing is. I think that's a mistake. Not a clear and obvious error. Szczesny's not made a tackle. He's just been kicked in the face. Anyway, Arnautovic is taking it. And he scores it. Just to cap off Nomadic Striker's comment from the start. What can Sabitzer do? I would argue Sabitzer has forced contact. He stuck his leg out to the side. And actually, if anything, he's fouled Szczesny. He's kicked him in the face. Szczesny officially hasn't made a tackle there. I mean, I guess I can understand the argument. It's not a clear and obvious error. I'll stick with that. I'd go as far as to say if that wasn't given on field, that it wouldn't be given there either. Arnautovic's incredibly emotional. 3-1. Now, all we need is stay there. I've got the perfect score. I've got the first goal scorer right. Not the first goal scorer. I've got the first team to score right. Please don't lose me another perfect score in the 90th minute. I think based on my luck in recent days, we know there's going to be another goal in this, don't we? Yeah, Jambo, do you know what? I can understand that. It's not a penalty for me. I can understand why people think it is one. And I guess the argument is whatever the original decision is, we'll stick with it. Fair enough. But let's give one positive, Jambo. The decision was made quickly. Let's carry on because loads of you have given me your FM saves. Slovenia 20 was the first one in the pack. We've got all of Slovenia bar the third shiny. We saw that, didn't we? So let me just double check. Or was that Slovakia actually? I might be getting mixed up. No, it was Slovenia. We're okay. Jambo might do women's football undecided. Yeah, definitely worth a go. It's going to be almost a bit like, and I'll probably do a women's save that teams I'm not familiar with, because it's one of the things I've loved like about when I did the Willem 2 save and that. Loads of players you know nothing about popping in and out, and just that element of surprise. Like, I'd quite like, Jambo, my idea is to do sort of a head coach save on Twitch from the women's game, because I'll have no idea who most of the transfers are going to be and what sort of player they're going to be. Maybe do it with hidden attributes and just have a bit of fun. But yeah, Luton women won't be in the game. Nomadic got a couple of save ideas. A journeyman trying to win a league in the Americas. And a youth academy type Palmeiras save. Yeah, that's always fun in South America. If I'm going to do one in South America, an academy save, it'd be Uruguay for me, I think. Now I'm going to do a simmer season, apply for a job. Reputation set to the highest. Lovely. I'm going to do Atletico de Throne in Rio. Lovely. Maybe Dinamo Dresden or Union Berlin. Yeah, Berlin had a poor season, didn't they? AA thinking of a lower league team. Not sure which one yet, as Arnautovic goes off. Great performance from him. Same for Baumgartner too. Play 4-4-2 wing style. Go hell for leather on attack. Enjoy it. Yeah, wing style. You don't even have to go hell for leather. Just get 2 strikers up there on attacking duties. 2 wingers putting crosses in. You'll have great fun. Harvey, Pompey in the Championship will be an interesting one. First time in a while that I won't be expecting promotion first season. Yeah, I think for Pompey, it's almost a bit like when they came back up to League One. It's just establishing in that division again, isn't it? Making sure there's not that slip up of going back down. And if you get through the first season, you'll then be all right, hopefully. I do think the bottom of the Championship's interesting this year, because in recent seasons, we've either had teams in chaos off the pitch in the Reading and Wigan season, taking up 2 of the spots, or a terrible Rotherham team and a Huddersfield team that just made mistake after mistake off the pitch. This year, I honestly think relegation comes down to which owners panic. I think that will decide it. The Plymouth Rooney situation is obviously one that's causing uncertainty. But I do think it will come down to... It did this season, didn't it? Birmingham sacked a manager in the playoffs. Huddersfield sacked Warnock and then sacked Moore just as he was turning it around at the end of an injury crisis. And it cost both clubs. Nonsense penalty. All done to mess with my score prediction, Steve. They wanted me to get the points. I was only 3 Austrian goals away from an accurate prediction. Hey, Mushroom, on the UEFA Gaming Predictor app, if you get the right number of goals per team, you get points. So you would have got points for Poland being right. If I go a women's save, it'll be Hearts. Yeah, well, that's an obvious call for you, isn't it? If your team's there. Bergie, I plan to do a women's save with Hacken in FM25. They have a Faroese wonder kid, Johanna Sorensen. 18-year-old, plays for the Danish national team. And she started a UCL game at Stamford Bridge this year. Brilliant. That sounds like fun. Going with my first save that I always go with. Try and win the Libertadores with America de Cali. Sounds fun. I definitely want to do a long-term save in Uruguay one year. I'll wait till the channel's maybe grown a little bit more, so I've got enough of a base that people will watch it. Great F for Austria. Brilliant save. Chesney tip round the post. Because basically on YouTube, any save outside the UK, you're going to get half the views. But if it's fun, I don't really care. That's a really good save. Been kicking around the idea of a youth only plus national team in Scotland. Yeah, I really wanted to do a youth only. It would almost been the San Marino challenge this year. They lost in the playoffs in Serie D. So for FM26, that's a probability. It's my favourite ever FM story is doing a San Marino challenge. I used to do it on the blogs every year, so definitely want to get on board with that. Once they're back in Serie C, we'll do it. Or if FM announce that they've got Serie D in the game this year, I'm on board with it. Yeah, Harvey, I'm not sure about Oxford. I think Plymouth will sack Rooney early enough if it doesn't go right. I think Oxford tactically will surprise people. I'd go as far as to say, and I know that you won't like this, I think Pompey are as threat as Oxford because of the style of play. A bit like we saw with Plymouth this year. I think Derby will be a bit more bullish and effective, but I don't think they'll be doing an Ipswich or anything, don't worry. But I do then think there's 7 or 8 teams that could get drawn into it if they make the wrong decisions. And you look at those sides that have always been in the mix. Swansea, will Stoke give their manager time? Will Sunderland appoint the right person? We've just mentioned it looks like Regis Labrie. I'm not sure about that one, to be honest. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting year. Cardiff, maybe, second season syndrome. Oh, just wide of the post from Austria. Brilliant, we almost both lost it there. Just wide for 4. I tell you what, they fancy more at the minute. That's my worry. Do we know how many divisions they'll go down the women's game in England? Steve, I think it would only be the top 2 for now, to be honest. I think it would be the 2 Barclays leagues. Maybe 3, but yeah, top 2, I think. But that's why I think they have to update international football, because it's the biggest part of the women's game by a way. Dan builds a Latvia save. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Don't rule it out in the future. It's my dream long term is to do builder nations across like random countries. But ultimately, I do have to wait until the channel's a bit bigger for that, because outside the UK, you just don't get the interest otherwise. Maybe if this year, if the guides can go well and we can pick up new faces, then for next year, that can be the main save. But I'd love it to be San Marino Challenge for FMM26. Eddie, I'd watch that. Yeah, Builder Nations are good fun. Hopefully over the next couple of years in FM, they'll get a bit better and you don't have to manufacture things. I know the second yellow card video, you can do it, but I don't like having to manufacture it. Any suggestions for a League 2 team that have very limited money but a decent youth setup? Well, Crew are the obvious ones. League 2 good youth setups. I'm trying to think who would naturally be the best in there. Who would have good youth setups in League 2? I have to get the table up now. I mean, Crew is just the obvious one, isn't it? A Tranmere might have a decent one. Or you'd be able to bring in Liverpool and Everton youngsters. I reckon you'd maybe get a few there. I think other than that, you're struggling because the big sides will have money, Notts County, Bradford, etc. Walsall, I think, would have a decent one, maybe. Yeah, but if you're going, League 1 Burton is the option. If you're happy to go up a league, Jumbo's right. League 1 and Burton is definitely the shout. Did they go down this year, or did they stay up in the end? I can't even remember. I'm sure they stayed up in 20th, did they? Yeah. Burton, obviously, with Burton, you've got very little money, very little attendance and fan base, but you've got St George's Park as the training facilities. So you're going to get great youngsters through. Oh, that's a penalty. That's going to be a penalty. The referee's saying no handball, but we've seen these before. The hams were about here. I think VAR might check that, to be honest. And the handball law is the one thing in this tournament we've seen being applied literally. As now Poland break through, Lewandowski loses it. I mean, Poland are throwing everything forward because they've got to get a result. And Austria look like they could score 4 or 5. Maybe no pen, because we've played on for 30 seconds now. Greenland would be a fun challenge, yeah. There's so many good ones. MK Dons have a decent academy, but they'll also have money, Eddie. That's the problem. Because you've got a big stadium. The fan base will go quite quickly there. And they've got fairly wealthy owners, so I think you'd maybe have too much money. Steve, they go 3 Burnley women, yeah, good shout. Pompey women signed their first ever professional player yesterday and just been promoted to tier 2. So if it goes, tier 2 will definitely be in Harvey. The top 2 tiers are both professional leagues now with the Barclays sponsorship, so they'll be in. You'll have the Premier, the Super League, and the Championship, or the National League, whatever it's called. Some, Eddie, but we've mentioned. I'm not going to go over it again because I'll end up on a rant about how they've wasted the opportunity to have a generation of fans. We are going to a pre-season game now, ironically, though, to watch Plymouth because I want to do a scouting mission. See how Plymouth, Rooney's Plymouth look the week before the season. And who knows, we may be playing them the week after, you don't know yet. I want Ecuador added. Yeah, that'd be good. More South American leagues is always the way. Yeah, Burton for the new FM. I'll give you the spoiler as their names popped up. Burton are the side I was looking at for the Youth Academy Challenge, so that probably would have been the save if it wasn't for Bournemouth going down. And may yet be the save the year after if San Marino don't come up. But that would be a strict Youth Academy Challenge. As in, after the first season's intake, sell anyone at the club and not offer any new contracts. More leagues in Africa, that's a hard thing to do because the organisations are so poor. Maybe more leagues in Asia. Now we've seen Japan added. Obviously, a lot of people still want to see the Saudi league in, and I reckon there might be a deal. They did one with FIFA mid-year, didn't they? So, he did okay at Derby, Bergie. He did okay at Derby. He did okay at DC United. Derby, obviously, it's hard to tell because he was in difficult circumstances. The one credit I give to Rooney, or the one mitigating factor, is he's never managed a side where he's had normal transfer situations. Obviously, MLS, it's the draft. Derby, they were in administration and had embargoes and all sorts. And at Birmingham, he didn't get a transfer window. So that's the one thing I'm giving him. Right, let's very quickly get through this sticker pack because we've got 4 minutes of added on time. Hopefully a perfect score. Paraguay would be good. Oh no, Austria are in. Good defending. And now it's a free kick to Poland. Right. We've now gone from Slovenia 20 to Slovakia 20. And it's big Robert Mack, the old City youngster. Let's see if we need him. Again, just thank you all for coming along in your numbers. It's been brilliant. We've got all of that page apart from 21. Robert Mack already there, I'm afraid. Still 76 needed. What about Denmark 6? It's Victor Nelson. I think that's the one we needed. The Galatasaray defender. I think that's the one. Return of the Mac. Return of the Victor Nelson, who we managed in the head coach this year, didn't we, at Bournemouth? It is the final of the Denmark stickers, bar the badge. So all of the regular stickers we've got for them. And we are down to 75 needed. If I remember rightly, Robert Mack's massive, isn't he? Should have just looked. It did have his height on the page, but there you go. Scotland, Highland and Lowland would be good. Yeah, Senior Spleef, welcome in. Good to have you here. Yeah, I'd like to see that. But again, I don't think in terms of getting researchers who can do it fairly accurately, that would happen. I think that's the only worry with it. Welcome into the chat, though. But yeah, I'd love to see that. Get back on with Breaking from that legendary 21 save. Next up, Germany number 5, and it is Nico Schlotterbeck. Not sure I've got this one, you know. We need a few on that Germany page. Ah, it's one of the ones we've got. I didn't realise. There he is. We still need Neuer. In fact, it's not Neuer. The goalkeeper says West Ham United. What? Look here. We've got number 4 for Germany. I know it's licensing issues. It's West Ham United. Who's a German keeper at West Ham? Or is it just another defender? Maybe they've not got room for the goalkeeper there. Maybe it's Tilo Kehrer from the start of the season. That's the only thing I can think. Maybe they've not been able to get the licensing for some of the Bayern players, which has been an issue with lots of games, hasn't it? Next up, Wales 4 and 5. Yeah, it's got to be Kehrer, but weird to not have a keeper when every other team has. Nico Williams and Joe Rodon, some of the little double stickers from the playoff teams. We've got 1 minute of stoppage time to go. This is when I was heartbroken in the Slovenia-Serbia one and lost my massive money. Unfortunately, we need 6 and 7, not 4 and 5. So that one is out of the water, which means the only chance we've got of getting a second sticker in this pack is Italy 1. The foil sticker is the Italy national flag. Now, how are we looking? I don't know if we've got this one. We have. Only one per pack there. So we're down to 75. Could be worse. Getting one a pack's still a good thing, but not enough to make it happen, unfortunately. As Austria break down the right, please do not score again. Stay there at 3-1. Yeah, got to be Kehrer. I'll keep you up to date. But then Luke Thomas is in the England one because of the licensing issue. So stranger things have happened. Tchouameni in for Mbappe looks like. Rabiot on the wing. Deschamps' tactics are so strange, but he seems to make it work every time. But he's another one like Southgate, isn't he? Who keeps getting blamed for it being too cautious, but he's been effective. And he's taken them to new heights, which is what Southgate's done with England. Full-time whistle goes. Austria win 3-1. Ranić is delighted. Austria are in a good position now. They'll give the Netherlands a game. I mean, if the Netherlands win today, they'll be resting people, I'd have thought. Could be very interesting. But a deserved victory overall. Poland definitely had a threat at times in that match, but Austria were the better team. A 3-1 victory, a perfect score prediction for me. My third of the tournament, I think. But I'm pretty sure my first in the games that I've done a live stream for. And as always, I can only say thank you to all the new faces, the regular faces, all of the resubs as always, and those following on Twitch and YouTube. Harvey, I've got Netherlands 2-1. I think they're going to cause a surprise, but defensively I do worry. Ranić's doing a wonderful job. But again, a bit like at United, he called it right, didn't he, and what they needed. It's just that he wasn't given the chance to get it. So Ranić with Austria will do a good job, and they'll be a threat. I can see them getting out of this group and having a bit of fun. maybe if the Netherlands win tonight, as me and Harvey are predicting, a draw in the last game suits them both, because Austria will have 4 to get through and Netherlands will have 7 to top the group. So there you go. A reminder, we will be back for the first game tomorrow. So if you like this, you enjoy the football chat and all of that, we'll be back tomorrow for Georgia v the Czech Republic. Again, the 2 teams on 0 points who needs to have a big game tomorrow. I hope to see you tomorrow and some of the others as well. I appreciate the weekends are busy for some. But thank you all for popping in. If you're on Twitch, we're going to go over and raid someone very quickly. We'll find someone we're following that's live. And then we'll be back at 2 p.m. tomorrow. We'll still have the daily YouTube video and all of that stuff. Hopefully, another entertaining game, because we have got so lucky with all of these ones. They've been really, really enjoyable. Yeah, Frimpong was really good in the last game when he came on. So hopefully we'll do the same again. I don't think there's anyone live who I'm following or have known before. So let's just go and find someone who is playing in English. We have got Zims is live. We'll go over to Zims. I've never been there before. Don't know what it's like, but got 90 odd people in. Must be pretty decent. We'll go and say hello. 2 p.m. What time is it now? 7 p.m. UK time. But yeah, the early kickoff tomorrow is the game we're going to be watching. So have a good one. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy the last game, which should be a cracker. And I'll see you tomorrow to discuss all of the football. And hopefully, we're going to get some entertainment. Have a good one. See you later.